5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Non-Censorship Podcast. This is our second episode. I present you Dror Baraam and myself, Saar and Dror Baraam. Raise your hand, Dror.
Yeah.
Raise it. And raise it. And later on, we're going to talk about Olympics basketball and all the important groups that we need to talk about in this Olympics. Freedom in Israel and in Australia. We had a few demonstrations of, how can I say the door?
We had demonstrations of freedom and protest against lockdowns here in Sydney.
In Australia, that's right.
In Sydney and all over Australia, yes. So we're going to talk about that, and hopefully we're going to talk about what happened in Israel with their protests too.
Yeah,
to make it interesting.
And we have a question of identity, how the education do adjustments over political opinions. A few tips about how to manage some crisis on your business, if you have any, some advices, and freestyle in the end. I'm Saar and Dror Baraam. I have a digital company for 15 years, married with a cat. And we'll start this thing over. Dror, do you want to present yourself?
Well, probably yes. Hi, I'm Dror. I do a lot of things. Currently, my main work is teaching in high school in Moriah College, in a Jewish private school right here in Australia. I also did digital marketing for you for a long time and for an agency in New Zealand. I had other jobs. I used to work as a DJ in the Latin music scene for a while. I still go to do that sometimes just as a hobby. I used to have my own dancing school in Israel. I had some podcasts which I produced in New Zealand. I helped to produce a podcast called Know My Faith, which is about practically Judeo-Christian beliefs, which was very interesting. And that's about it for now.
Yeah.
You want to?
You had a lot of things on your mind.
Well, I did a lot of things, and I'm only 28.
Yeah.
I wonder who's also 28.
Yeah, exactly.
My twin.
I wanted to tell you about before we start about the crisis on business that I just talked about. Each digital marketeer, as Dror and I, know about 10 sentences about every business that is online or market itself online right now. I know about hotels, I know about restaurants, I know I know a lot of different businesses. So we have a lot of experience. So we want to share it with you. So let's talk about the Olympics basketball. USA is pretty disappointing, don't you think?
I believe so. And well, what do you think about why are they disappointing? What do you think that's happened to them? What's the transfer? What's the difference?
I think that the USA team has no real connection to its flag. It sounds bad. It sounds something that we won't talk about it here. But every player on the USA team is not a nationalist. He doesn't care about USA. He cares about the NBA. And the NBA already proved itself that they don't mind about the USA. They mind about social justice. They mind about promoting the players. They mind about money. I realize that, but money and your state are often collide. And this is why I think USA doesn't look good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The thing is, like, if we talk about the US specifically, not as a team or just the US in general, well, I think people are in the US are afraid to call themselves Americans today. And some of them not just afraid, but you know what? I wouldn't say afraid, just don't want to call themselves American because they do not understand. They don't understand what's their value to the world. And I'm not a big American patriot. We're Israelis and I live in Australia, but we need to understand that uh, all in all, USA has been had mostly uh, positive effect compared to other governments in the world. It introduced a lot of
What do you mean by
terms.
that?
I think it introduced a lot of terms of freedom that the world doesn't know. Didn't know that amount of freedom by then, specifically freedom of speech and things like that. So that's very interesting. But if we go back to the NBA players, like uh, the Black Lives Matters organization, they all went with it. 100% of the players in the NBA just wore T-shirts from the Black Lives Matters movement, things that promote
You
them. So
had few that didn't.
yeah, very few, very few.
Very
Yeah,
few. It's not 100%. More like 99%. But all of the let's say known players, all of the players that they have a lot of influence outside the court, like Stephen Curry, like LeBron James, um, like I don't know, even Luka Doncic went with it and didn't go against it.
yeah.
Okay. And that's why I think they don't play with soul, with commitment. They are the most talented team by far every year.
Yeah.
Okay, France beat them, but if you see France, like if you take USA versus France, you will say USA is much better. They have the better players. They have the better coach. But you can see it. You can see it on Damian Lillard's statement that he made. He talked about national players when they play for their national team. They're going 2 or 3 levels up from their play in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to compare it, but you can see France beat Australia, beat USA. Australia beat USA. Nigeria, I think USA beat Nigeria on a small deficit.
No, USA lost to
Nigeria beat
Nigeria.
them. Yeah,
USA lost to Nigeria. Like it was an
yeah.
exhibition match, to be honest, but still.
But you can see,
Yeah.
even if I'm going against Nigeria, I'm supposed to win. And I'm not the best basketball player in
let's
USA.
let's give a little bit credit to Nigeria. They do have about 6 or 7 NBA players. But let's think also about other kind of aspects of this, and not just more of emotional aspects of representing your country. If you look a little bit to professional aspect, well, you need to look. Have you watched the game between France and the US?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the one of the major things that I saw, that the US came to play NBA basketball, and the other teams playing EuroLeague basketball. Okay, and it's very important to understand.
All of the rules are EuroLeague basketball.
Oh, definitely. So they need to understand that, man, even if you pass the ball a lot, well, there's a big likelihood that they're gonna the defender's gonna get to you. That's one, because they're used to these kind of things for outside shooters. That's one. Second, France has Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is one of the best centers in the world. Okay, and I'm not trying
the best shot blocker in the world.
And he's a strong guy, man. He's a big, strong guy. He's very athletic too. He's a big, strong guy, very athletic, and has also a mid-range shooting. Okay. When you look at the US put Bam Adebayo on him. Now, Bam Adebayo is very athletic and he's a very good center in the NBA, but he's not as physical as Rudy, or they had another substitute center, which I do not remember his name, but he was also very physical with Bam Adebayo, and it just wasn't good enough. That's it. Like they don't, I think the major problem they had is not being physical. And that's a big thing that we do see in the NBA, that like, for example, the fouls are being called a lot easier on the NBA. Like hand checks are not allowed, being aggressive. The only time that I saw aggressive NBA, like the only time you see aggressive NBA is in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Aggressive
because
game.
no, everybody save energies for the playoffs because
Yeah.
this is the time it most matter. Well,
So
but
yes.
if we're gonna go to Olympics basketball, and let's stop, please, talking about the U.S.
Yeah.
All of the other team got NBA players on their roster.
Oh, definitely.
We had 92 or 2008, the dream team of the USA. They were much better, and they had the best roster that they could bring. You talk about 2008. You talk about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. You had Carmelo Anthony on his prime when he wanted to play professional basketball and competitive basketball. When he dueled Kobe Bryant in the playoffs, it was a great series between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. You can see they had the most the best player and the best players wanted to play for them. They had Chris Paul, they had Jason Kidd, they had Dwight Howard, Tyson Chandler. You couldn't
Definitely.
do anything about them.
I'd say Tyson Chandler and Dwight Howard were a major factor to that team, because you saw that they were athletically and physically superior to any other of the centers over there.
Yeah, you had Chris Bosh on its prime, on
Yeah,
his
like
prime.
definitely. And like, man, today's center in
Dwayne
the
Wade,
NBA,
I forgot Dwayne Wade.
yeah, Wade
Wow.
was amazing there too. So today's centers in the NBA, like American centers, they would play power forward in the Euro League. Definitely would play power forward. Like a lot
I
of the
don't know about
centers,
that.
like
I don't know about
Draymond
that.
Green, Draymond Green would play power forward for sure. Um,
Okay, he's small.
yeah,
He's
but
not.
he's the second center for the US team. He
That's
plays as a
weird.
center. Yeah, he's too small. Like he's
Yeah,
very,
and
dude, in the NBA, he's awesome. He's an awesome defender. But EuroLeague, it's not the same.
okay, you're right. Let's sum this subject up.
Okay, let's go to other
Every
teams.
the Olympics got better because every other team has now NBA players on its roster.
Oh, definitely,
It's
definitely. And
it's
they're
the
so
simplest
talented.
as that. And the USA doesn't don't know how to manage or use its advantages against other teams. They need to run. They need to run fast. They need to dunk, and they need to score the basketball as fast as possible, like other competitions before. This is
Yeah,
my opinion about it.
they need to play
Uh,
what we call Maccabi Tel Aviv basketball in Blat
Maccabi
era.
Tel Aviv on
In Blat
the
era, yes, Blat
yeah
used to play fast, like to play fast.
yeah.
Uh okay, so yeah,
Let's go another subject. Let's go
okay.
about Israel and Australia. Let's talk about freedom. Well, what's going on in Australia right now?
Well, basically, on it's really interesting. For over a year that this COVID thing outburst in March, everyone was
Mhm.
very compliant. During lockdowns, everyone were at home, listened to the rules, did everything they were supposed to do. They were ordered to do by the government, and some people even did this odd things which they accepted. Like a lot of people still today accept more rules from the government and go with more severity on the subject. Okay, so you got that thing, and suddenly on Saturday there was a big protest in Sydney CBD, okay, in the main business area of
Mhm.
Sydney. And what's really interesting was they had, well, some of the websites say they had 3,500 people, but I think there was more. There were more. I'm not sure, but I think there were more from photos that I saw and videos that I watched. There were more. People that said, well, we had enough of these lockdowns. Um, Business are being closed, like are being shut down. They just go bankrupt. Um, the government does offer a lot of subsidizing, a lot of money for people, but it's not like having a business, man. If you go through, like, Bondi Junction has like this some sort of boarding walk. They call it the canyon, despite it's not like a shopping mall. They call it the canyon.
Mhm.
You see, like, man, like, place that was super busy, like really, really busy, has it's like a lot, like 6 or 7 stores are just empty. So it's quite a shame. And just people just had enough. Like, they banned people from doing essential work. When I talk about essential, I'm not talking about hospitals, like hospital workers. I'm talking about construction and things you cannot really do from home. And people were starting to be angry, and they made a protest. And they made a protest not just here in Sydney. They did it in Melbourne, they did it in Brisbane, and they did it in Perth too.
It was a violent protest.
No, not at the beginning. No, not at the beginning. Later, there were a lot of problems with the police. The police
I
arrested
think
some guys, gave some tickets.
I think if you're not violent in a protest, nobody cares. I I I I I don't know
Yeah,
how many Australians are in the world they know about the Israelis' inner problems, and I'm excluding the Arabs from this subject. But you had many protests. You have the Ethiopian protest because one Ethiopian guy that he had a lot of he didn't had a clean record, and the how can I say this, he he started to harass a police officer, and the police officer later on shot him and killed him. And later on there were the Ethiopian protest for I think a couple of weeks, and all the state stopped because they were very violent. They blocked roads. They threw rocks and bricks on citizens, not like the police or something.
Yeah.
They did a very violent protest. I don't say it's right. I just say it gets you on the news, and everybody knows what's your problem. Month
Yeah.
later, we had the Cripple protests. They just blocked the 3 or 4 main roads on Israel, and people got dehydrated because they wait on their car like 4 hours without any gas or something. It happened. But if you do these kind of things, people listen to you. People know what's your problem. People can relate to it. People, I don't, I don't, I don't like it. I don't like it. But this is the only way here in Israel to move things. Only if you protest, and you protest violently. And these protests of freedom, I think from my experience, it's not violent. It's not like we had enough. You had in Israel, you had 80,000 businesses that got shut down, and this is the, how can I say this? This is like the 80,000 businesses from 8 million population, right? It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
that's a lot of businesses.
Yeah, and this is only of the how can I say, official documentation. You had a lot of businesses that are going bankruptcy. You had a lot of companies that shut down. You had a lot of businesses that changed their identity. It was you had on every city you will go here, you find many rent signs, many rent signs. I went yesterday, and I was in Rehovot. Here in Israel also, a pretty good city to live in, really good city to live in today. And like every fifth or sixth store, it was on the leash. The protests are right. We need to. I specifically don't believe on the coronavirus pandemic too much. I think it went way overrated. But if it's right, and if everything is if it's a real plague and if it's a real virus, we need to learn how to deal with it. And another lockdown or another draconian guidance won't gonna get it. We're not gonna get the results we want. We want to get people back to their routine, back to their work, back to their businesses. This is how we're gonna end this. This is what I think.
Well, yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. Some people would go, well, some biologists actually. I heard a biologist on the JRE podcast named Wenstein that says that we need
Jew
to do,
boy.
yeah, Jew guy, yeah. He's actually not a politically correct guy either, by the way, which is interesting. Which actually he said that
We'll invite him.
we should. I think it's Brett Weinstein. That's his name. He said, yeah. So he said that we should do a lockdown and end this for all, and not having it spread anywhere, and just kill this virus early on. And he said something that scientifically, like, in order to just get rid of it scientifically and not worry about it for a long time. But I understand what he's saying and understand what you're saying. Like, I understand the reasons that come up for it.
You can't do that. You can't lock everybody up. You can't do that. It's not practical.
Like
it's like I don't know, all world socialism. You can't do that.
It's also biologically against the way we live. Like, people go outside. That's our thing, and I completely agree with that. I agree that, like, you can't really do that. There are some advice from other people that I think we should consider, but yeah, I don't think that it's practical. Like, it's not practical, I think, and we're seeing it right here. We start to have hundreds of cases a day. No, like, most of the population is not vaccinated, so, like, it's also a thing they protest on. Like, I know, like, the vaccination enrollment here was not as good as Israel. Yeah,
and even though in Israel you see people get sick even when they're vaccinated.
Yeah, it also happens here, by the way.
90% of the people that are going to hospitals right now, they are vaccinated. The vaccination doesn't work. You can say that. You can say that the vaccination doesn't work. What works is you eat healthy, do some sports, eat some oranges or something to get your vitamin C. You have summer here in Israel. Go to the sun, go to the sea, have a great time, do some physical workout. Just make sure you don't have any stress in your life. Do some psychological treatments, or do some massage once every month.
Basically,
just
take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Just do the basic maintenance for human being that on the modern era. This is what I think for keeping your health.
Yeah, I believe it so. But I think, like, what bothered me the most here about that protest, I guess, like, it's not more of the subject of the COVID, is the fact that people just, most of the population did not support these protests, of course, okay, because they're very compliant, as I just said, but they canceled them. You know what I mean?
They just say
canceled what they say. They don't know what they're talking about. They're not there. You should, like, this is what bothered me. Like, they just canceled them, and they, like, one of the most important things are letting people say what they think. and let them say it hard what they think, and listen, assume this is a Jordan Peterson rule. Assume that the person that's talking to you knows something that you don't. Okay.
Yeah,
And
you're
that's,
right.
yeah, or experience something that you didn't at least. And man, just they have to, like they don't do that here. They just say they're just very, like, the population is very angry and they want more restrictions, and it's not necessarily good. Like I heard some, like, one of the government officials that I know said that there's like a big boarding walk here from, like, a big it's a track from Vaucluse, okay, which is Watson's Bay. It's like on the beach, that
Okay.
goes on the beach straight to past, like, almost past Maroubra, which is a little bit in the southern side. I think it's about 15-20 kilometers walk. Okay.
Hmm.
And in that walk, there's no evidence for someone that was infected there, and they want to close the walk. And like, people support that, and they don't think for themselves. They don't think, okay, something's wrong here. They don't, there's no,
You need the Ryan Gosling meme every time. The Ryan, not Ryan Gosling,
just,
the other Ryan,
yeah, they don't think
that made Deadpool. But why?
that, yeah, but why? But why? Uh,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, that's what I'm bothered the most. Like, they don't people don't listen anymore, and they just want to cancel and say their opinion, and that's just the way it is. And it's an extremism that a little bit we build it with time, and we like to build our own narrative to things, and we don't like to change it. We don't like to let it change. And man, one of the rules in life, we need to understand that we change, we have different logic.
Everything changes.
Yeah, specifically when we experience a crisis, or even, like, man, when you got married or when you started dating your wife,
I
man, you
had
changed.
a big crisis.
Got a big crisis.
When I got married, I got a big crisis. No,
Of course,
I'm joking, but but we are changing. You can see that everywhere.
man. Yeah, like,
I think in the last few years, you and me got very mature. We changed the way we think. We take more responsibility for our lives. We see different kinds of content. Things are getting different.
oh, definitely, man. Like, yeah, like, that's like who that's who we are. Like, we see
Yeah.
things very, like, we decided to change, and man, and we do small accomplishments, man. Like, it starts with small things, and then it becomes to a moment when, like, myself, I stopped. Like, I used to smoke cigarettes for a long time, like, on and off, yes, no, and then you suddenly stop. Just don't want to do it anymore. And then suddenly I have a normal job, man. Like, I remember when I was in Israel, I had like 4 or 5 jobs, to trying to maneuver between them, and none of them I did perfectly, none. So, and suddenly right now I have a girlfriend, which we're together today for 6 months. Today we're 6 months together.
Wow.
Yeah, that's me, that's a lot. That's like,
That's a big deal
whoa,
for you.
that's a big deal. So yeah, like, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Be responsible. Yes, this is my message for everyone. Sometimes my students watch our podcast, by the way, which is quite hilarious. Um, but yeah, definitely, I I I support that 100%. I
Yeah.
support that message.
Let's go to our third subject.
Let's see.
How education changes over political opinions. What do you think about it?
Okay.
You mentioned you wrote this question, and
Yeah.
I need to talk to
Okay.
us about it. Guide
Okay.
us.
Today, in universities, and specifically educational universities that are non-religious, like there are some religious ones in Israel. They have very, very biased opinion about how things are run. and about rights and
What do
about
you mean?
democracy. Like, man, if you would ask teachers in secular schools, like, who would they vote for? Man, 95%, 95% would go left wing, go socialist, left wing.
It's because you've been in you teached in socialist wing, social, like left wingers schools, I think.
No,
You
like,
didn't went to Dimona and ask the teachers there.
not like, I know not Dimona, but I used to do my training in Netanya. And Netanya is predominantly considered right wing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
that's over there, same story, man.
Yeah, also the
Sorry,
teachers over
teachers
Netanya
left
were
wing,
left wingers.
left wing. Yes, definitely. And here, man, you can see it in usually in education. Like every educator knows that. Okay, so basically that rammed in usually when we learned there's a subject in Hebrew, in Israeli schools that they teach. It's called how to be a citizen. Okay, Ezrachut. It's called in Hebrew. It's
Citizenship.
the study of citizenship. Yes, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they teach you that since you're like you're grade like in grade 7
I
or
don't
grade
know.
8.
No, you don't.
Yes.
You don't. You learn citizenship on the 8th grade.
Yes, yes. You don't. We learned some of it in 8th grade now. Yes.
Okay.
So
And
that's
and
interesting.
the learning how to be a citizen is not anything like being a citizen.
Well,
It's like how the school wants you to be a citizen, but it talks about democracy as the only way of government possible. And this
yeah,
is weird.
they talk about it as the best, and not specific
Yeah.
democracy, specifically lean towards social democracy. Like
Yeah.
they explain you like when I taught my I wanted to teach my mentor class about how it goes. Sometimes they studied a little bit here on year 6, okay, in grade 6, okay, which is interesting of how things work. So when I talk to my class, I'm like, it's like I'm thinking that democracy is like, it sounds very anarchic, man, but sometimes we need to understand how it works so we could utilize it for the best. Okay, it's the least bad form of governing today, but there are some places that are more capitalist and the citizens live happily ever after.
Well, let's
So,
talk about what is democracy, because if you're gonna say more capitalist, people are thinking that democracy is socialist, and this is
well,
not quite right, because you have this kind of ladder. You
yeah.
have like the socialism, total socialism that can't work on the
Mhm.
one side of the ladder. You had capitalism that didn't experienced everywhere
Mhm.
in the world that we know. It didn't happen until now. When you have this in between, that it has a like freedom, like freedom of choice, freedom of free speech, freedom of what to buy, how to do things, and uh, and it changes from state to state.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
I think in Australia you are importing a lot of fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables.
So I
In
think
Israel, we don't do it. We almost don't do it.
so.
We
Yeah,
do it, but very specific amount.
I think just now what's interesting in Israel that they just started a farming reform. Okay, I think they started.
It started, but we have a lot of time to this to work.
Okay, it's okay. But
We are growing bananas that are tropical fruits here
on
in
the
Israel.
Mediterranean,
Yeah, and we don't
yeah,
know
it's
why our
ridiculous.
bananas are shit
They
and
are. They are.
expensive.
Oh, definitely they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say. So I'd say like yeah, people need to more educate. I think that Israel is not free on that kind of things, on financial things, not as free as Australia, but on spiritual matters like freedom of speech. Like in Australia, you don't have freedom of speech. It's not
Here in Israel, you
constitutional.
can say everything you want.
Yeah, in Israel, you can say whatever.
Everything, almost everything you
So
want.
so in Australia, it's not quite the
And
same.
and
Yeah,
the only people that gonna talk to you about it is the left wingers because everyone else
yeah.
doesn't care.
So yes, definitely. So
Yeah.
I'd say that predominantly education, like if you have an educator that you need to have an educator that teaches you how to think. You need to have an educator that teaches you how things work, and you need an educator to teach you how I don't know change. I don't know about changing them,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I want to delay you. You said an educator that teach you how to think. What do you mean about that?
I mean like
Because
fact
you can
check.
go either way.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can go
like
either
fact.
way with it.
Start with fact check. How to fact
Yeah,
check
but
yourself.
how can you fact check things right now on the online businesses? You can everything is no longer relevant. You have every opinion has an article. Every opinion has its a backup on research right now.
So you need to
As
read the research.
yeah, but when I talk to you about coronavirus, and I think it I don't know if it doesn't exist, but I think it's partly overrated on the previous question.
Mhm.
Um, I think how can you know that? You can't really know that because you have many opinions, and many researchers that back up the opinions. You need to have a strong empiric, not empiric, a strong mind that can clear the cloud that we have on the media right now. We have in Israel, you can it's horrible. You have people are talking about getting a they're doing a closeout. Second
Lockdown.
lockdown. Thank you. I forgot this word.
No worries.
Doing a lockdown on like a month and a half
Mhm.
for no reason. What do you know about something that's gonna go on a month and a half? You can't know that.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
you can't know that. You can't know anything, like for sure. And this is what you come to every meeting, to every place that you go to. You are expecting to learn from people that know better than you on a specific on subject. Never mind what it
Mhm.
is. I learn many things from each client that I have. I learn about his philosophy. I learn about business. I learn about business models. I learn about pricing. I learn about many things.
Mhm.
You said it earlier, but going to places when with the this is also a thing that Simon Sink also said. He said,
Mhm.
"I'm going to everywhere, and I ask the stupidest question I ever ask, so I can figure it out completely." So I can figure this deal, this philosophy, this all of all of the subject, all of the idea completely. And this is
Mhm.
the right way to go, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let's sum it up: the
Oh,
education over political
yeah.
opinions.
Well,
Um, yeah,
basically, how I see it is an educator's job is to help people expand their minds, and and understanding how to do it without causing them to reach misleading information. That's how I'd say that. And it's not the teacher's job to present the students with his own political opinions.
we
Um,
had a teacher on the on our high school. You remember Reuven?
Reuven, yeah, I
Remember
remember
Reuven
Reuven.
and Dror Elner?
Ruben and Dror
Yeah.
Elner. Yes, I remember these two. They were
They,
awesome.
these guys learned me, like, teached me how to think. Think. I have many issues that we need we need to troubleshoot in my office. Every day I'm going through it and I think, what is the best way to deal with it?
Mhm.
I had let's talk about dealing with the crisis on businesses. I had a crisis with a client of mine that told me that we have a problem in the integration. Um, I work in a digital. I own a digital company, and most of our job is performance. We
Mhm.
supply leads to our clients, and we do it on a white label. We do it with their name from
Mhm.
our כלומר,
Meaning,
I mean I mean if any business will go with me, I have the responsibility to make it look good and have a good sense of urgency to take this business's services. So we are doing the integration to a client of mine, and I think the integration is wrong because the date, excuse me, the hour column that need to be integrated also
mhm.
shows the date, and it sticks the whole system. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
This shit, it doesn't get any leads. It's bad. So I went through it, and then I saw on the Google spreadsheets, you have this. I don't know how to call it in English, but you have this 1, 2, 3 tool, and I just changed it to only hour. Show me only the hour, and it was so dumb, so
Mhm.
stupid, but it was the best solution possible. It over a minute, I changed this entire client's opinion about me, that I solved a problem that we uh, tried to troubleshoot it for several days
Mhm.
in just one click, 2 clicks.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's important. Know how to think.
Mhm. Yes, definitely important. Know how to think. Definitely. Know how to learn too. It's
Yeah,
also important.
I also advise on people, don't talk about how to do things. Just present your problem.
Mhm.
Just, I have a problem. My problem is this and that and this, and I want this. And later on, people that are good professionals, that are professionals, will offer you the right problem for your needs,
Mhm.
the right,
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
the right
the right tools or the right or just solve it for you.
answer or everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
go with your problem.
definitely. I agree. I agree with that. Okay,
Yeah.
let's continue to the next part. A risk. I wrote it for you, this part, because I think you could relate to it in a best way ever about managing crisis in businesses. Now,
What do you want to know?
well, what happens when the entire world is in lockdown and you don't know what to do? I'm just kidding. But basically, I would say,
I can talk to you about it if you want to.
well, please do.
We have in March the first lockdown here in Israel. It went from 15th of March
Mhm.
to 1st of May,
Mhm.
and I had emotional like I was very pissed. I was angry. I was you know me. I have a lot of patience.
A lot of
Uh,
customers, not patients.
what?
You have a lot of customers, not patients. You're
I
not a
have a lot.
doctor.
I have a lot of patience for people.
Ah, patients. Sorry about that.
Patience. No, no.
Sorry about that. No, I thought something
Yeah,
else.
no, no,
Sorry.
not patients on the
Watching
hospital.
House
Like,
too much lately, man.
hey, man.
Hey man, I'm watching
Uh,
too much House lately, and Dr. Mike.
yeah, and you think I had a breakdown, like 60% of my customers went down.
Oh,
I I took two employees that I had, and I told them that they need to go on a I don't know if it's like vacation without payment, the
yeah,
halat
unpaid vacation.
here,
Unpaid vacation,
unpaid
yes.
vacation, and we had here in Israel that the government paid for this unpaid vacation. And I told them I just can't deal with it. I need to invest on these clients, and I need to take them. And I was alone for 2 3 months. I was entirely on my own,
Mhm,
and we started to I started to get more and more clients. And
mhm,
many, by the way, many digital companies went down. Also, digital companies that people
mhm.
address me on the street and say, "Hey, you got a great time. You had a great business." No,
Yeah,
we
during
depend.
lockdown, you were great.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's never simple. Never
yeah.
simple.
It was a problem. And later on this year, I managed to also grow from this coronavirus. Here on August, I had more clients and more revenue that I had on February. So I think that what you need to do when you have this kind of problem is you need to take 1 hour, think of yourself, what you're gonna do, because if you're not sure, if you don't like what you're doing right now, shift, change, do other things. And I love what I do. I love it. And what I did is I went all in. Although I have the all of the options to go out, I went all in. And right now I have once a week I have a video that I produce in my YouTube channel that my agency has. Sorry.
Mhm.
And what my YouTube are doing is giving guidance to thousands of people here in Israel, if not if not tens of thousands.
Mhm.
And this what got me the clients on this period. You gotta know if you want to do and just go over it like a madman. Just do it, so you have later on you can do many other things that will help you in advance. Just just be honest with yourself. This is what I learned over dealing with crisis on business. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your clients.
Mhm.
And if you're gonna be honest with yourself and the clients, you will go for a lot of time. I have clients right now. The digital companies in Israel, it's a hard business. It's not simple business. You work with a business for 1 2 3 months, and they go over, and we don't want you because you didn't give me enough result that I think of on the on myself. It's a problem, and I know many digital companies that are like shifting and merging and do whatever they can to survive. But if you do what's best for the client, and you and you're honest with and you're honest with yourself, you're gonna get it on and get it right, and will pass every crisis that people has, every coronavirus crisis, or a big financial crisis, or everything. Just be good.
That's correct. I
This
agree.
is this is what I think about crisis on business. Pay
Definitely.
right.
That's
I all of
yeah. Be determined, know
after
what you need to do.
yeah, after the
Reinvent
first
yourself if you have to.
yeah, after the first shock of the coronavirus
Mhm.
pandemic,
Yeah.
yeah, even in the second and third lockdown we had in Israel, I told my employees, you're going to continue work. You're going to continue as usual to work, and don't like do you. I'll do mine, and I'll take all the losses on me. I, I will help you financially, and I want you to give everything that you can.
That's
And
that's
they gave everything they can.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's talk about advices.
Yeah. Got this email.
I
Got
love
this email.
this email.
Got this. Just got this email. Oh, that's relationship advice.
Oh,
Oh, relationship
focusing.
advice. I like that. I like relationship advice.
Yeah, it's good.
Uh, yeah. Hi, hi, Dror. I just wanted to know. I've been dating this girl for 2 years,
Wow.
and we have broken up. We
Oh,
have broken up just 5 days ago, and I do not know what to do. I cry every night. My heart is broken. It's shattered. I couldn't imagine my life without her, and she left me. Oh my God, that's harsh, man.
that, that's
That's
that's not
harsh,
simple.
man. That's
These are
harsh.
bad words,
I'm
man.
just I'm just trying to get over it now. Um, yeah, and I can't go to work. I can't do anything. And yeah, that's a like that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. He got really upset. What do you think about that?
He got
I have
really
my own
upset,
advice.
and for 5 days he can't do anything.
Yeah, that's
Uh, my idol Bill Burr always say rub on out, but
just rub one out.
yeah,
See how you feel.
yeah, it's starting to put the pieces together. And but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think it's good for certain people that doesn't talk that don't talk about their emotions. But
yeah,
I think going to therapist for 1 or 2 sessions that will help you deal with it. Like I would go backwards and think what's what are the good things that I bring to the world with me? Because I tell you, I'm in a relationship almost 6 years right now, and I'm married for 3. And I wanted to tell you, like, what's carry you through life is yourself. You can't expect for anybody, also your wife or your girlfriend, to do you or to know what you want or to fulfill your dreams. You need to do that on yourself. And
yeah,
my advice for you: put up a list of things, of like 20 things that you are good, that you value with yourself. Go to sleep when you read this list. Go to sleep and wake up when you read it. And afterwards, when you read it, you will have another ideas that you didn't had on the first one, and put that to work. And when you see you have your own personality that you like, you want it to grow, you want to carry on in your life. And there are many girls out there. Okay, so
oh,
just be you, entertain yourself. It's a good time to not
entertain
not
yourself.
not by masturbating, drawer.
Yeah, yeah.
Eh, just just make sure you you're good with yourself, because people are gonna get it, and you're gonna go better than the relationship you already had.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there are not much better things than a relationship of 2 years that you love the girl and you miss her. Okay,
Yeah.
put that one aside. Carry on, man.
Yeah. I'd say like, yeah, I would go with the carry on advice. Like, to be honest, I think it's my assumption that like women likes you the most when you have purpose in life.
You
And
have purpose and you have fun,
yeah, you have purpose and you know how to have fun. Yeah. Like at
because
the
they
beginning,
need to ruin it.
it's mostly, yeah.
They need to ruin it. The fun, they need to ruin it.
They need to ruin the fun.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm only 6 months with my girlfriend. She hasn't ruined the fun for me yet, but you know how it is. Just give it some time.
She didn't do the before breakup talk.
Oh no,
Like,
no.
are you in business here? This kind of
Yeah.
talk. You didn't have it. Like, I
Ah.
suffered enough from your from that you're stupid. Did we suffer enough or not? And then later on, you're stupid. Change, because I suffered you for 6 months and I'm not gonna take it anymore. So if you had already 2-year relationship, this fight occurs between 4 and 6 months of the relationship. It's worldwide. It's not just Australia. It's not just Israel. It's worldwide.
Yeah. Oh
And
man. Yeah.
they suffer. The women suffer for until 6 months, and later on they say it. They said, "You suck. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have any awareness of yourself. You don't know." Just and then later on, you already passed this test once.
Yeah.
You're gonna go and you're gonna do better next time.
Oh, definitely, man. Like, first of all, I think like it is important to give yourself some time to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happens,
How
like, don't be
old is he?
he says 32.
32. It's not old. You have time.
You
You're a
have a little
man.
time. You're a man, yeah.
You're a
It's fine.
man.
But
You
like,
have
how can I
time.
say it? Yeah, but how can I say it? Like, dude, just first of all, don't judge yourself. Give you some time to grieve. Give you some time to develop, and then just from there, just take it easy. Just try to do the note stuff. Like, try to write yourself some self-affirmation. That's what you offered, self-affirmation things.
Mhm.
And just go out there, man. There are like, there are
And
so many
have a
girls.
good time.
Yeah,
Have a
go.
good time.
Yeah, go have a good time, man. Like, basically in a relationship with a girl, just in the first like 3 4 even more, man, for some people it like lasts longer. You just have that's you just have a good time, just smile, enjoy yourself, make jokes, man. And that's for
And
your
people are
next
gonna
one.
go for you. The
That's
girl's
like
gonna
my,
go for you. We are
yeah.
in 2021.
Yeah, man,
Girls are hitting
definitely.
with men.
Oh man, so yeah, so just make sure like you invest in yourself, be playful and fun, and later like find yourself purpose, because then you won't. First of all, you'll see those if you find yourself purpose and you'll be honest and be nice. You'll see these things coming, and you'll know how to act and how to do it, and then these things won't influence you that much. But I do appreciate, man, to get into as a man to get into a relationship for 2 years. That's And as a man today, that's
That's
brave.
good.
That's
That's
brave,
good.
man. That's a good job
That's
for you, man.
great.
And yeah, just do the
Appreciate
math.
that.
Yeah, do think why it didn't happen, why did it happen, and just just let
Make
yourself
it
recover and
rain.
continue. So yeah, just take it easy. Maybe we
Yeah.
could do. You want to do another
We
relationship
have
advice or
another
another one?
advice.
Let's see. Just a
If you have
second.
any advices,
I'll open
bring
the
it
mail.
on.
I'll open the mail. Yes.
Title of this
Yeah,
email.
just title this email. Yeah. Okay. Have this thing just a second. I'll get a good one. Okay. Up. Let's find a nice one. Okay.
You have like thousands of advices already raining up.
I'm taking for advice website. It's all right. I'm just kidding. I got some I asked from people to call to send me an advice. I got some of them from students, some of them from adults. So I'm just taking it out. Just a second.
You got me with that one.
Yeah. Like I would like I got some girl advice, but I don't know if I could help like girls as much as I could help guys, to be
From
honest
a
with you.
lady.
Let's
Yeah.
let's do this one. Oh, this is good. This is good. Most of our
It's
advices are
good.
men anyway. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. We have
Hi.
advice from a lady.
Hi. From a lady. Okay. From a lady. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Hi. Hi, Saar and Dror. I met a guy and he's a charming person, and he's a guy that you don't really see anymore.
Slap him.
I tried to hit on him politely, and he said he sees me like he sees me as a friend, and he doesn't think of me that way. He's extremely shy, and everyone tell me try again and again and don't quit. And I lost my interest because it's the first time in my life that I hit on someone, and he said no. I know that he is a divorced. Sorry, I'm translating it for him. Sorry, I know that he's a family guy. He's a guy that likes family and he wants kids, but it's still I don't feel like a need to try to go after him again and again, and try to offer him again and again until he agree. Now, what do you think? Um, what do you think? Maybe the fact that he's shy is a problem. Maybe he suffers some kind of trauma. Thank you very much. That's a nice one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a girl that's been rejected by a really sweet guy.
And
He's shy.
it's her first time that she hit on a guy.
Yes, I would divide this to
And
two parts. Yes, I would
yeah,
divide it
you
first.
have several parts in it.
Yeah.
You have several.
So I would say, girl, go get that, like, darling, like not go get him, but I'm talking about if you like if you try to hit on a guy, like so what if he rejects you? It's like it's not that big of a deal. Like good job.
She's not a salesperson. This
Exactly.
girl.
Don't try
She's a
to
good
oversell
girl.
yourself. Don't be desperate. You're like we're assuming that you're a charming girl, by the way.
How old is she, if I can ask?
25.
25. 20,
Yeah,
25.
she's young. Yeah, she's young. She could go for it. Yeah. So
yeah.
So
the first advice that if you're gonna get rejected the first time is the most. It's the most devastating time.
Oh, definitely.
Later on, you develop an armor. Okay.
Yeah, especially for guys in high school, man.
Yeah. Like
get rejected.
Yeah, exactly. I rejected hundreds of times, I think.
Yeah, we were rejected.
Hundreds
Yeah,
of
I was
times.
rejected. Yeah, definitely. I can't count.
It happened.
Yeah, just
you say, well, they don't. This guy doesn't want the most terrific guy on the planet to have a relationship with, so maybe it's for the best. This is the first one. Maybe it's good for you. The guy that is shy, many times they have a lot of I don't know what to say, like emotional packages that going with it. Maybe he did you a great favor.
He probably did you a great favor. Yeah, definitely. You probably did. Like,
yeah, if you're 25
shy,
and you're a nice lady,
yeah,
so
a nice lady. Yeah. So yeah, don't worry about it. Like, yeah, continue.
I need to say, like, I'll say this as a man, and if you look nice, you don't need to look modelish. If you look nice, you're a good person, and you take care of yourself, and you have a good job, and you're good. You're good. So this guy lost from not being in a relationship with you. And I'm saying, like, if you're good on the way that I just said, like, think of yourself. You're most of the people, most of the guys will be with a girl that's, I'd say this, and I'm very, let's say, I need to be careful here. So Jordan Peterson said that guys gonna be on their level, like hierarchy levels, or lower, like most of the time, like their level or lower. And if it didn't occur, so you're upper on the hierarchy level. You need to be thankful.
Yeah, definitely,
You need to be
man.
thankful. You don't need to see this as a one-time opportunity in the most perfect guy. If he was the perfect guy, you already been been you already in the hospital giving birth to his baby. It doesn't happen. It didn't happen. Move on.
Yeah,
There are many guys that would love to have a young, good, educated lady like you.
yeah, definitely,
You went
definitely.
in for a man advice. This
Yeah,
is not. This is great.
we'll support you. Good job. Good
Yeah.
job. Good
Let's
job. We
move on.
support you. Good job. Let's move on. Okay, I think we're done with the advice. Have some
We're
good
done with the.
jokes.
You got some good jokes.
I got stupid jokes.
Yeah, bring it
Stupid
on.
jokes. I got stupid jokes. Okay, it goes like this. It goes like this. It's a funny one. It's a good one. It's about I went to a farm. Went to a farm one day, and
This is the
yeah,
joke, I know.
I don't know. Maybe you do. I went to a farm, and then I went there, and then I saw this dog, and I was like, oh,
I
the
already
dog.
know who
It's cool,
made
a
the
dog.
joke from your
It's cool,
or how you
no,
tell it.
no, he didn't tell. No, it's not his joke. I just made it sound like his joke. So I
Okay.
saw his dog, and he was there with the sheep. Then the dog said, "Hey, how are you? How you doing?" I'm like, "What? What? The talking dog? What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a talking dog. What's yeah?" I'm like, yeah, I bet you. I told her, yeah, maybe you can talk, but you can't count. And he said, okay, let's take a bet on that. I said, no worries, no problem. So he brought the sheep from the farm that he lived in, the dog,
Okay.
and he said, and I told him, yeah, I bet you can't count these sheep. And dog said, yes, I can. So I said, okay. I said, okay. So then he counted the sheep, and
Come
I
on,
counted the sheep.
man. Come
And I
on.
counted the sheep, and it's been. He said the dog says it's 40 sheep, and then I said 40 sheep. That's not true. They're only 37. And the dog said, yes, I round them up. You didn't get the joke. You didn't get the joke. Never mind. Never mind.
No,
Because he brought the sheep and he heard the sheep, so he had to round them up.
but because he's a
Because he's
dog.
a dog. Because he's a dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's a good joke to your opinion.
That's a bad joke. You got
That's
a
a
good.
joke that I got desperate from it. You fucking
Yeah,
killed
that's
me.
yeah. Yeah. So what do you have anything funny happen to you this week?
Um, I
No.
think of something good. I don't know if it's funny. It's more like a frustration.
Oh.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
Okay,
I,
go for it.
I,
Yeah.
I have I have this I have this client that I'm working on. It's a hotel here in Israel,
Okay.
We do find job with this hotel, and they got their page blocked
Oh,
and from advertising. Yeah, but I can
okay.
advertise with other pages. I can advertise it on Instagram. Just the
Yeah, no
page itself
problem.
can't advertise. And
Yeah.
we talk with Facebook about like, guys, help us. We have a problem. And they also like going round and around and around with our problems. It's like you tell them, okay, I'm going this. I'm how can I say this? I'm transferring you to the internal team. Your
Mhm.
problem to the internal team. Say okay, and then they go for 72 hours. They go until 70. You have 72 hours. You'll have an answer. Then later on, they don't give an answer, and then you
Mhm.
go again, and then again, and again, and again, and again, and again. We already had like five disputes,
Okay.
and they don't move. So it's more frustration thing. And then my own employee, his name is Dima. He's great guy, great guy. He's telling me I'm dealing with the Facebook's robots. They fucking killing me. They 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 can, because it's a robot. He can he can answer not on what you needed, and he
Mhm.
doesn't care. Like I try to make robots and Facebook say penis or something, and
Man, it
no, not
reminds you
many
like
times. Not many times they write it.
it reminded me, man. I decided once to. I said let's make an experiment. Okay, let's try. I've been traveling. I traveled alone for a while in New Zealand, and then I was here for a while. And I said, let's see. They have an
Mhm.
app. It's called a friend app, like a friend in an app. So let's see what's this. Okay, very very. I think it's very, kind the concept of a person that doesn't have. I said I wanted to try how it looks like. Not like I got plenty
Mhm.
of people to talk here. I just wanted to see how it is. So I just started to talk to it, and I said, I wonder how your algorithm works and what's going on, and how does it go? How does it work? How do you work? Who programmed you? What's going on? Like it's interesting. Like he kept asking question about me, but he never answered questions about him. That's one. And then
Yeah.
for some reason, like it was a male, like I
A male
put the,
robot.
yeah, it was a male
Robot.
robot. Yeah. And for some reason, he always tried to talk about sexual stuff. So, well, when are we talk about sexual stuff? I'm like, dude, like this is not,
How the fuck are you?
yeah, like, dude, you're a robot. What am I? Come on, man. You gotta relax. And I told him, Ben, you gotta relax. And he was like, yeah, but are we gonna waste our time in relaxing, or are we gonna talk about the real deal? And I derivated the subject of the conversation all the time. And I know why, man. It's because like I wanted to try it for fun, but I think most of the people that download these stuff are like perverts and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So they're like, yeah, let's download this robot, man. And then he kind of picked it up. It's an AI, so it kind of picked it up.
Yeah, like
And every time
sexting.
someone joins in, he assumes already that he's like, hey, that guy is a pervert. Let's be a pervert with him. Hmm.
Like statistically, most of the guys who download the app are perverts.
I think, and
So it's
statistically,
good.
most of the people that download the app are guys too.
Yeah. That's
So
weird.
it's that's like yeah. Of course, the app was deleted after 50 days. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I took it
Yeah.
off the same day. That was very interesting. Yeah, which actually brings me to a realization: get a real friend.
Get real friends. Yeah.
Get a real friend. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, I think we're
let's
out of
wrap
time.
things up. Yeah. I want to thank you for this podcast. We're going on YouTube and Spotify, so please subscribe to non-censorship, censorship with S.
Pun
Uh,
intended.
yeah. And so we talked about the Olympics basketball. We talked about freedom. Talked about education, crisis on business. Some excellent advices from Dror Baraam. And,
And from Saar Baraam, better advices from the long relationship guy. Definitely.
high relationship guy.
Yeah, you got a lot of points there.
Yeah.
I've
And,
been in a relationship since I was 23.
yeah, so we're looking forward to hear from you on our email. If you want to send a feedback, if you want to send anything that you would like to advice.nocensorship for advice, and for any business or any subject that you want to refer to, info@nocensorship.com. We're looking forward to hear you. This is Dror Baraam and Saar Baraam. We talk to you from Israel, from Australia. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
brother. Pleasure to talk to you as always.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you.